Here we go. Hi, this is Vera, and this is the team call for May 1st, 2018. And we're going to talk about the Dream and Do It event that we went to. Some of us went to last weekend, and there were so many good takeaways. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the promotions this month. So it's really important to learn about those different promotions. So who wants to share about the promotions? Darcy, are you going to be the one to share about the promotions?
Yes, I will share about the promotions. So this month we have 200 PV promo, which, you know, they don't do this often, but when they do it upright, I'll tell you. So with your 200 PV, it could be an already existing customer who orders through their LRP. 200 PV, you're going to get your On Guard 15 milliliter, your On Guard hand sanitizer. You're going to get, what else are they going to get? Because I just did that video.
I know, that's why I'm asking you to do it, because you just did this video about it.
I know, I just did an awesome video on it. On Guard, the toothpaste, and then Wild Orange. Got it. 4 items. Savings of $75.
That's incredible. So is it just for new members, or could I do that by doing my LRP?
Yep, I've already set up my LRP cart, and when you look there, you see all the free products listed below. Plus you'll get, if you do it for the 200, you're also going to get the 125 promo, which is rosemary.
Rosemary, right. Rosemary is a great oil for memory loss and
respiration
and hair loss too, right?
Yeah.
And it's great on chicken, so you can't beat that.
So that's the promo for this month, and then also there's 10% off of the On Guard concentrated cleanser, which works out to be about $12.50. I figured it out.
Yeah.
So that's the promo.
Lots of great promos this month. All right, great. So we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna talk about my biggest takeaways from this weekend's events. And then Janelle is going to share about her takeaways, and then Darcy's going to share. Joanna was also at the event, and also, who else was there who's not on the call right now?
Mandy.
So maybe they'll jump on. Maybe they can just let us know. We can talk about this next week. And I'm really glad I went. You know, I thought I wasn't going to be able to go because I had a yoga reach out event. And I thought it was the 28th, but it was actually the 29th. And that was an awesome event. I enrolled 2 people, but then I made a ton of contacts. I actually contacted everybody today in the sense of I Facebook friended them or I'm going to email them. But I was really glad to attend the Dream and Do It event because you had these, it was like a tour of information for people who are interested in the business, and just also it was a lot of product information. So I came in on the tail end of Angela Villa, and she had lost 100 pounds, just not if this is right, 100 pounds using her own, way of dealing with her emotions and incorporating the oils to help her with her emotions. And then also integrated a lot of the doTERRA products such as Slim and Sassy, which is, and also ginger, grapefruit, lemon, the emotional roller kit, because obviously, if someone's 100 pounds overweight, there's a lot of stuff beneath the surface. The weight is just more of a manifestation of the inner issues. They say the issues are in your tissues. So the outward is the manifestation. So working on the emotional part, and that's where essential oils can really come in. So the essential roller bottle kit involves forgive, console, cheer. Oh my gosh, blanking right here. Anybody can throw in the other ones. Forgive, cheer, passion. Thank you. Console, peace. Thank you. And they come in roller bottles, and they also come in. They already come pre-made in roller bottle kit, and they also just come in the little 5 milliliter roller bottles. Just 5 milliliter bottles. She also talked about her success with using Lifelong Vitality and the Trim Shake. So no matter what you do in this business, people usually are going to ask you about weight loss. That's a big thing that I've been, a lot of people have come to me about. And I always recommend getting on the Lifelong Vitality. And hi, Sarah, how are you? I'm so glad you made it because you're going to talk about something too. Whether you like it or not. Ooh, look at that. Okay. So I think this is a good look. Do you think? But I didn't wear this today when I was working, but I think on the team call I can do that. But in any event, sorry about that. I digress. Okay. Oils are good for ADD like me. So, so weight issues are really big in the doTERRA community in the sense that people are coming to us for help with their weight issues. That's really important. So if we can be a model of that success and have a very healthy lifestyle, because what is the foundation of the doTERRA pyramid? Anybody? What's the foundation of the doTERRA pyramid? Guys, seriously? Are you serious? The pyramid, when we always do our wellness consults. Oh my gosh, guys.
A healthy foundation?
So there's a pyramid, you know, on the Live Guide, the first page, what's the foundation?
Oh, nutrition.
Nutrition, thank you. Who said that?
Katrina.
Thanks, Katrina. It's eating right. It said literally eating right.
I wasn't sure what you were talking about at first.
Okay, sorry guys. Eating right, that's the foundation of the pyramid. The next is
your
exercise.
Exercise, fitness.
Who said that? Who said exercise? You win a roll.
Ashley.
Psych.
Oh man.
Just giving them out right now. I do have that universal, you know, that the universal oil that they gave silver and aboves. I do have that. I haven't even opened it yet. So maybe you guys will win something. The next is exercise. After exercise is
emotional stuff.
Rest and manage stress. Yes, emotional. Informed self-care, proactive self-care. So the foundation of doTERRA's pyramid, this is really important working for doTERRA, if you're working for the company, is eating right. And that's where the Lifelong Vitality comes, because that gives you your nutrients, your supplements, your omegas. So having a foundation in health. So I take my supplements, you know, sometimes I forget to take them, but I usually take them with every meal. I take 2 of each. I find 4 to be a little bit too much for me personally. I take 2 of each. For people with weight loss with weight stuff, there's the Slim and Sassy supplements. There's also probiotic was really important. So that's what she talked a lot about, that of having that foundation, and fasting in between meals. So you have your breakfast, you have your lunch, and you have your dinner. So you have 3 meals, and in between you let your body rest. And that's really how your metabolism kicks into gear. So in between, if you're snacking between meals, you're not giving your body time to rest and actually digest and actually you metabolize that food to give you more energy. So I actually stopped snacking 14 years ago. So this is actually not a shocker to me. So it's really nice that doTERRA has this structure for people who do struggle with weight and their metabolism. And she talked about that. She says, it's only 3 hours till your next meal. And that's so funny because when I joined my program, because I had an eating disorder, I had weight issues and I was bulimic for 8 years. And I did join a food addiction program. The premise was no flour, no sugar, so no processed flour, no sugar. And she talked about that as well. And if you open up the Live Guide, on the first page, it says eating right, right? Eating right, that's the foundation, because it goes through each of the pyramid steps. And every page of the Live Guide tells you and recommends a course of action for that. And when you're doing your LRP wellness consults, after people buy their kits, you walk them through the Live Guide. And I did this 3 times yesterday. So I know I'm like, the Live Guide is like stuck in my head. So the first page gives a recommendation of a proper diet, right? And it also says avoid. Do you guys know what it says at the top? Does anybody remember? It says avoid caffeine, dairy, processed flour, processed sugar. That's what it says on the right side. So get familiar with that live guide because it's very important for understanding the focus of the company and what their mission is regarding that pyramid. And really helping people feel better. Like if I didn't have that structure 14 years ago when I was 24 and my life was a mess and I didn't know how to stop eating and I didn't know how to eat normally, I don't know where I've been right now. I definitely wouldn't be working for Doterra. I wouldn't be healthy. I wouldn't feel the way I feel. It really is the foundation. Food is everything. What you eat and what you put in your body and your exercise routine, it's everything. The oils support that. And that's basically what she was talking about. Darcy, do you want to share anything about that? Or Janelle, do you want to share anything about your takeaways from that?
No, I wasn't there. I missed that.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Janelle, do you want to share anything about that? You were there for that.
Yeah.
And Sarah was there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Sarah, Sarah was there at that point.
Yeah.
She was super inspiring, Angela. She also talked about, in between everything that you just talked about, she talked about adding Terrazyme into, like in between every single meal. She said you could do it like in the morning, you could do it before meals, you could do it with meals, you could do it, she's like, you can basically do it whenever. You can take it once a day, you can take it 10 times a day, you can take a whole bottle a day if you really wanted to. It's just digestive enzymes. She said, but taking it in between the meals instead of, in those 3 hours, what it's doing is that it's eating away at the stuff that your body didn't finish digesting from the previous meal, so that it's never going to store a carb or a fat, which was the other thing that, don't have a carb and a fat in the same meal because your body can only break down one. But her story itself was super inspiring, coming from somebody who's dealt with stuff like that her whole life as well. It was easy to resonate and know that you can tell that there's so much emotional correlation to weight gain and to keeping it on, not being able to get it off, no matter how much you try to do something sometimes. And she actually told a really heavy story about like her dad and, things like that. That's why she asked that we not record her story and post it on social media, because she goes into really deep, heavy specifics about her dad and how they treated her as a child, and her sister had drowned, and her parents were, obviously very upset and, couldn't really deal with her issues. So she kind of kept them to herself. But her dad had a bunch of other issues. So it was just really inspiring, as well as where a lot of the other speakers, 2 or 3 other ones, told really heartfelt stories about their families and stuff. And it was really definitely hit home. And then, they taught different things in between there too. So
yeah. Great. Thank you so much. Some takeaways from her. She talked about every 3 hours is a new start to love yourself and love your body. She had some ideas of a love your body make and take. And sugar is processed and made the same way as cocaine, if you didn't know that. So we're basically eating cocaine. So she recommended sprouted grains. Do you guys know about sprouted grains? Yeah. Whole grains, sprouted grains, quinoa, bulgur wheat, it's carbohydrates, yes, but they're a good form of carbohydrates, right? Not the processed flour and stuff. And yeah, she was a big fan of fasting in between meals, and reducing your toxins is really important because your body stores it as fat. So when we talk about reducing toxic load, remember that section in the pyramid, reducing toxic load, that's a very big part of your weight loss as well. And drinking lemon throughout the day, lemon oil in your water is a great way to reduce those toxins in your body too. All right. Sarah, did you want to share anything about that? Because you saw that presentation.
Yes. I also found it really interesting. Oh, sorry, my dog.
He found it interesting too. We can let him talk tonight if you'd like. Yeah.
If hopefully you can still hear me. So
Yeah.
She mentioned the emotional aspects of it too, and how she used some of the oils to help with her emotions and her emotions that were tied.
Okay, we're gonna come back to you. Wait, just let us know when the dog starts barking. I can't focus when that dog is barking. I don't know. I'm like ADD. All right. Okay. I don't know what she's gonna do to the dog now. I hope it's not bad. All right. So another guy spoke. He was really, I just loved his energy, and he was really spiritual. Like, that's what I love about Doterra. It's a very like spiritually deep company, you know. And this guy, Kurt Hamilton, do you guys remember him? Kurt Hamilton. He started off talking about Dachau, which is the concentration camp in it was in Germany, I think, or in Poland. And it was just a very powerful presentation. And being a person of Jewish origin, for him to start, you know, and he's not Jewish, he's actually Mormon, for him to start talking about the concentration camp and the philosophy around affects our behavior. And I didn't even take that many notes. I think I was just so in the moment of it, and I'm actually trying to remember exactly what he talked about. Anybody want to come in and jump in on that? Sarah, are you there for that?
No, I wasn't there for that part.
Were you there for Kurt Hamilton, Darcy?
Yeah, I was, but I don't remember what, like, I remember him talking about the concentration camps, and I believe it was like the storming of Normandy, and then I'm not sure what that led up to as far as his.
I really wish I recorded it. I did record some of the other ones, but
I know that I just, yeah.
His was a very like spiritually focused and enhancing yourself.
Right.
You know, the Doterra journey is all about self-development and really confronting a lot of your fears. And I have had to do so much personality building in this process and self-development. And he just encouraged the self-development process of this. It's an ongoing journey, and everybody is at different places in their self-development journey. And basically Doterra, the whole business is a Doterra is a mirror of yourself. So how you do business, how you interact with others, it's all, as we grow, we start to grow in our business. So it's all parallel growth. And he really encouraged reading for at least 30 minutes a day, staying connected to your mentors, and finding other mentors in Doterra or in this kind of network marketing world that you respect, that you look up to, like Tony Robbins. People love Tony Robbins, things like people like that. Listening to positive psychology, right? So affirmations are very powerful. And he just talked about, even when you're doing your dishes or, you know, hanging out at home, cleaning your house, listen to positive affirmations, because that enters your subconscious and it affects your mind, it affects your memory, and you'll start thinking of these positive affirmations throughout the day. Even though you don't remember it in the moment, you will remember. And he did this funny recall where he was singing songs from the 80s and the 70s from TV shows, and he would start with a song like the Brady Bunch, like, here's a story of a, you know, everyone would finish the song because they knew it, because of that ingrained repetition. And you know how we all know those cheesy 80s songs, like, living on a prayer, take my hand and I'll make, you know, we just all know it. It's just like a part of our culture. The same way affirmations need to be part of our brain. And so the negative thinking can just kind of evaporate, that you can have that positive, those positive affirmations when that negativity starts to creep in, like, oh, no one's calling me back, or, oh, I can't do this, oh, it's too hard, or, oh, I'm not like her. Don't listen to that. Listen to the positive affirmations. So he talks about that. Do or do not just try. Do or do not, just try. So that was and then Jackie Rich shared. Okay, who wanted to share about Paleo Mama? Darcy? Okay.
So I was really inspired by her whole story. And I think that what I took away most from it was that story that she told about her chickens, you know, the one where she got a group of chickens and then like she came out one day and they were all dead. But that didn't stop her from getting more chickens. Then she just learned more about chickens as she went along, like, you know, and that's how I feel like we are in the doTERRA business.
Wait, her chickens died because, just explain how her chickens died, because that sounds kind of like,
oh, so
everyone's like.
some animal came into her coop and
Right.
killed her chickens.
Right.
But that wasn't like the first time she had trouble with a group of chickens. Like, I think they had lost chickens, you know, for one reason or another, and just kept at it until they actually, you know, were successful at raising chickens. So like I said, I feel like that is part of a journey, you know, with doTERRA. You sort of start out with, you know, basically the people on your front line, and then you're, you know, you may or may not have followed up with them. You don't know what you're doing in structuring. You know, you kind of failed at that, but then, you know, as you grow and know more about the business and learn more, and, you know, you become successful. So that's how I felt like her story really resonated with me, because I felt like at first when I was doing doTERRA that, you know, I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't enrolling people. Like, why didn't people want to buy products from me? I don't understand, you know. And then you just have to kind of like figure out your own journey and where you want to be in the business.
Thank you, Darcy. Yes, and she did go through the basic principles of the Emerge training. Raise your hand if you remember me talking about the Emerge training. Thank you. She was like, let me tell you the 10 steps of sales of doTERRA, of how to do your business. And she basically went through the Emerge training. And I was like, guys, she's just talking about the Emerge training. And she didn't even say the Emerge training. So I'm just going to go through the 10 steps right here. Obviously, you're not going to remember everything, but you can rewatch this video. So salespeople, when people think about salespeople, what do they think about? What is like the salespeople thing?
Pushy,
yes. They don't value your time. They talk too much. They don't care about your needs. They're just like, sell. That's not what we do in doTERRA, right? We don't do that. Number one, when you're talking to people on the phone or in person, be in a hurry. That's important. Don't take up their time like it's like you don't value it. Everyone's busy. No one's immune from that. So be in a hurry, especially on the phone if you're trying to get them on the phone. Don't sell on the fly. I'm guilty on this. She talked about her friend. I think she was like a platinum, and she'd come to like every baseball game and every game for her kid and bring her big old bag with all her flyers and roller bottles. And that's me. So she said, don't sell on the fly, schedule appointments, treat your business seriously. Don't just be like some pathetic, you know, with the bags. And that's me. So I'm just calling myself pathetic. When you're with your family, be with them. Don't sacrifice that time with your family. Be focused on your family and really block your time. Like when I do my business, I do my business. When I'm with my family, I'm with my family. And I really try not to cross over the too much. Know your vision. Why are you doing this in the first place? Have a vision. What do you see for yourself? What do you want your future to be? What do you see? Like, I know my doTERRA business is going to pay for my kids' college education. I know it. That's what I see, because college is ridiculously expensive and higher education is really important to me. So that's important. 4, take the emotion out of making the contact. So if someone doesn't get back to you, if someone doesn't call you back, if someone doesn't respond with wanting what you have, that's okay. Take the emotion out of it. And this was big. This was another one she said where I was like, oh, she said, cold call at least 10 people a day.
Whoa.
You can take that and do what you want with it. I reach out, you can do it through Facebook as well. I reached out to about 3 or 4 people today. 5, you know, I didn't hit 10, but I cold reached out to a few people today, and it was, I have now made contacts and booking appointments and for wellness scans and things like that. Samples. Okay. So raise your hand if you give out samples. I give out samples. She said samples will prolong the sales process. Okay. So it's not innately bad, but there's a like a doTERRA belief system that some people believe that samples will prolong the sales process, and other people are big diehard samples fans. So find your way with that. You may not always need to give out samples. Darcy, to the woman who took pictures of us at the event, I gave her samples and I followed up and I said, how do you like your samples? And we'll see if she gets back to me. Acknowledge the awkwardness. If you haven't reached out to people in a long time, like for me, that's huge. I have a lot of people on my team that I have not connected to in a long time. Acknowledge the awkwardness. Listen, hey, John, or no, not John, because most men don't buy, most men are not in my organization. Hey, Jenny, I know I've been a terrible leader, but it's, I just wanted to let you know that I'm here, pick up the phone. I'm sorry, I've been a bad oils mentor for you. I'm going to be better. It's been so long since we talked. Like if you haven't talked to your friend since high school, that's awkward. You acknowledge the awkward. And remove any pressure to buy. At any class that you're doing, the first thing, like there's no pressure to buy, just so people can get that off the table. But if you wanted any products, we can get you those today, right? So people are like, oh, good, there's no pressure to buy. But if I needed them, I can get them. Always schedule the appointment, the follow-up appointment. Always schedule the follow-up appointment after they purchase a kit. That's really important. And give an agenda and time frame for your classes. Agenda and time frame. People need to have psychological agendas when you're doing a presentation, and offer a choice of 2 times when you're trying to book an appointment. So don't just say, hey, when are you free? Or I'm free all week. Like that makes people crazy and they won't respond to you. Give them 2 times. I'm free Tuesday at 4 or Saturday at 5. Does that make sense?
That totally works. Can I just tell you, I had just had an experience. So I have a one-on-one Wednesday night, and, I've been trying to track down this person for the longest time to get together. And, I know she wants the oils, but it's like, I'm always like, well, what's good for you? Do you have something like Saturday or whatever? And then finally this weekend after this doTERRA thing on Sunday, I was like, hey, I've got Wednesday night at 7:00 available. Are you interested in getting together? And she was like, sure, let's do it. How easy is that?
Yeah. Awesome, Darcy. That's so great. That's so great. And then she talked about when you're doing a class, the class should not be longer than 30 minutes. I know. She's funny. She's like, I have 6 kids. I don't have time for 2-hour classes. And when I first started doing classes, they were like 2 hours long. And then at the end, people would just be like, oh, so tired, and I'd have these big classes because I would invite like everybody, like 15 people, and it was so long. So I've learned my lesson. The first 5 minutes, making a connection with people. This is like how a class should be structured. First 5 minutes, making the connection, state the intention of the class. 10 minutes for why doTERRA. 5 minutes for the health priorities, like what are people's health priorities in the room? Because you're not talking about yourself, okay? That's really important. Don't make it an ego thing when you're in a class. It's all about the other people. And then 10 to 20 minutes for essential oils and talking about the Lifelong Vitality Pack, and 9 minutes for membership next steps. So she broke it down, okay? And then the last presenter was all about LRP. And that's what we're going to do next week because we ran out of time. So any questions about that? Sarah, is there anything else you wanted to share because you were there? Any takeaways, your first doTERRA event? Oh, and you don't have your dog barking. So you have 2 minutes to talk about what you wanted to talk about.
So I was going to say when Angela was speaking about her journey, like the weight loss journey,
Yeah.
and how her emotions tied to her eating, and how she used some of the oils, like the emotional collection.
Yeah, I talked about that. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Eddie came on after
Eddie
her.
Vila, yeah, her husband.
Yeah, and I related to his story a lot too. Like right now, working in a corporate job and kind of seeing how corporate life is. Like, I really related to him. So he kind of inspired me too. I can't remember like everything he said, but he just talked about his journey with his career and how he was laid off and working part-time and then like developed his business, and kind of a little bit of like how he did that, and basically like staying positive and yeah.
I mean, they have Paleo Mama. They have an incredible story. You know, they were really super broke, and she had this blog, and her vision was to build a farm, and yeah, you know, but the thing is, Paleo Mama already had a big following online before she got into doTERRA. You know, and that's the thing. She had a big following. And that helped, you know, that helped. She already had a following, but the story was powerful. They were really, really broke, and now they're not. Anything else you guys want to share from that, Sarah and Darcy? Okay. All right. Well, next week we'll talk about the LRP follow-up, and how to talk about LRP, because that is that is the success of your business, if you know, talking about it and not being afraid to talk about it. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and thank you so much for getting on. I know it's not always easy, but I appreciate all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.